What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. We have the YouTube Masters update. Rick Shiels on his podcast talking more about it. First time in a while, I'm going to cover it for you. He said a lot of things that I want to express some opinions and views and just get into for you guys. So hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this content. Lightgate 2023. So far, I've had it on for 5 minutes before recording this to make sure, and it hasn't turned off yet. So I'm hoping, but you guys really enjoyed that last time, laughing at my misery. So I'm glad you guys had a fun time with that. But anyways, Rick Shiels podcast this morning, obviously, you know, posts every Monday, Tuesday-ish, talked about the YouTube Masters in it. A little 5-10 minute segment. I'm not going to play it. I'm going to synopsize it for you guys because that's obviously why you tune into these videos. It's not to watch something you could already watch. It's to listen to me to give you a... Anyway, all right, basically, he was asked about the YouTube Masters Q&A type thing, and he answered it in saying that they are trying to make it happen, that this is something that is a lot harder than they expected. It's going to take a lot more to make it happen than they expected. They may or may not have talked about it too early, but there's a couple big points, a couple big takeaways here. Number one, he said that it may or may not be a collaborative event. That may or may not, to me, is a may. Is a yes, it is. It's a collaborative event. He doesn't say with who, but I'll tell you with who. That's who. I'm telling you. It's definitely got it. It's good. They're obviously going to be collaborating. Good was the holdout, the drama of like, ooh, we can't go to the tournament that Rick's hosting, and then there was talks about it maybe coming over to the States. He mentioned that in his podcast. They're definitely collaborating together on making this thing happen. It's going to be an event that hopefully they're able to pull off together at some point. Now, Rick goes into more details about when it might actually happen. Obviously, he had it slated in his brain for the end of this year. He wanted to make it happen. He stood on a hill and said, this year it will happen. He said that. But now that it's looking like, A, it's going to be harder than they thought. B, he wants a YouTube live stream, which apparently it costs a lot of money and it's going to take a lot. Oh, we're back. Oh no, we're back. It's going to cost more money than he thought. The live stream is more technical than he thought. He, for the first time in this podcast, said that he thinks it might stretch into early 2024. He's trying everything he can to make it happen at the end of 2023, but it might stretch into end of 2024. However, he did talk about the fact that just like the Hit channel, his recent channel, the Golf Reviews channel, they teased on that for a long time, and it was delayed past the date they said they wanted to make it happen, but they delivered, which I firmly believe they did. They delivered an absolutely class product, a really good YouTube studio, a really good production quality of these videos. Some of the best reviews going on YouTube now are happening on this second channel. So although it was a bit delayed, the product ended up coming out top quality. And I think that's hopefully what they're going for here. I think there's a mix of collaboration struggles. There's a huge problem, I'm sure, of picking a date that all creators can get to, because that's really what you need for this tournament. And realistically, like, you give any of the top YouTube... Oh no! What the heck are we doing?
You shouldn't make mine. Remember? There was two.
Oh yeah, there's two. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Back in business. Forgot this light kit came with 2 lights. I think we should be good now. Problem should be solved. All right. Anyways, like I was saying, if you were to give all of the top creators a day right now of, like, let's say what he said originally, which was fall of 2023, give them a date of like October 25th. I guarantee you this many top creators would be able to go. It's 2 months away. Like, all of these top creators who do large scale collaborations on a regular basis have their schedules planned out well until the end of this year. I think that's going to be the biggest bottleneck they face with this tournament, or Rick faces with this tournament, is like, for sure, getting all the ones and twos together, all the back ends, especially if it's collaborative, but it's making sure that they're doing it with enough notice to get all these top creators there. Because again, if Rick and Good are hosting it, it's probably going to be enough pull to get people to change their plans, but there's no guarantee, right? And if you like don't have Grant, you don't have Brian Bros, you don't have a couple other big channels there, like, the legitimacy of it, it gets less cool. So I think that's another huge bottleneck. And they're obviously, you know, I think that's part of the reason why Rick, for the first time, is saying that it might leak into 2024. But ultimately, my synopsis of this is that it's good. Like, it's still in the works. It's still happening. You know, he said that once they figure this out, they want to have it be an annual thing, something that comes every single year, which I think is huge for YouTube Golf. I think if YouTube Golf can get a Masters every single year, a massive championship, a pinnacle event that all of us YouTube golfers can like train for and get ready to compete in, and it's cool, right? A lot of us, myself included now, like, I practice golf almost like I'm trying to go pro, even though I'm not. But like, you know what I mean? Like, because I love it, but I also know that like I have opportunities to play on camera and compete, and it does kind of feel a little bit like you're an athlete. And then having these actual pinnacle competitions, it's only going to raise the level of YouTube golf. It's going to make every YouTube golfer want to practice more and train harder to get better so they can have a better showing at these events. So creating this like YouTube tour type thing, especially with a pinnacle event hosted by the two biggest creators in the sport, I think is absolutely huge for the community. So I want to see it happen. But I want to see it happen as good as possible. They mentioned it. They could just chop something together and have this like event throw down in like a week that's just whatever. It's not live streamed, it's not spectated, it's not all these things, but they want to do it the right way. They don't want it to just be another YouTube video. They want it to really be like a statement in the community, something that can be annual, that can drive, you know, viewers and sponsors and all that kind of stuff. Really push, in my opinion, push YouTube golf past just YouTube. Put it into the talks of like an almost an additional tour. So with all that being said, I'm very happy with where this whole thing's at. Of course, like all of you guys, I would love to see this happen sooner rather than later, but I would rather it be done right than done wrong and rushed. I think Rick has that. I mean, he's the OG. Everything he does is very, very well executed. His production is incredible. The new hit channel, like I said, is absolutely incredible. So I definitely trust that guy, and I obviously trust my good people over at Good to make sure this is all spick and span. So hit that subscribe button. Hope you enjoyed. Lightgate officially over. This one stayed on for the rest of the video. Problem solved. Yeah.